Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day so far. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings, sharing a good cup of coffee with you and sharing a few thoughts from God's wonderful Word. And I'm responding to a question submitted by several viewers, and the question is, what happens to the child of God after they die? Is it Hades? Is it Abraham's bosom, paradise? Is it heaven? So this is very, very important. And as I've pointed out, this question isn't simply a question about what happens to the Christian after they die. This really gets to the heart and the core of realized eschatology or unfulfilled eschatology. For you see, heaven as the ultimate goal of the child of God, or the new creation as the ultimate goal of the child of God. No matter how you wish to perceive of that ultimate goal of the child of God has to do with man in the presence of God, i.e. in the most holy place. Now, I must remind you again also that man in the garden was in the presence of God, the most holy place. Sin separated heaven from earth. Now keep in mind, once again, it's very, very critical. Man was on earth. Man was in a physical body. Man was enjoying fellowship with God on earth as time marched on. After he sinned, he was then dead. You know, it's humorous to me to see people attempt to escape the force of the language, "In the day you eat thereof, you shall surely die." And some say, well, the emphasis is simply on the surety of it. And they completely ignore, they completely deny, because of preconceived theological ideas. They therefore seek to mitigate the absolutely unmistakable and irrefutable statement, "In the day you eat." Is surety in the text? Well, of course it's in the text. But the surety has to do with the temporal element. In the day you eat. In the day you eat what? You will surely die. Not 900 years later. In the day you eat. So it's humorous to me, all the while being sad, but it's all because of preconceived ideas about the nature of the death of Adam. And the failure to see that God could restore man to his presence while man remains on earth. God's intent was not to destroy earth and end time in order to bring man back into his presence. God's intent was not to destroy physical death. Physical death is the portal through which we walk, the natural process of life, through which we walk to enter into another dimension in the presence of God. God's eternal intent was to reunite heaven and earth. Adam and Eve were in the presence of God. Heaven and earth were united. To reunite heaven and earth did not demand nor necessitate, let me reiterate this and emphasize this, did not need, did not require, did not suggest, and did not imply the end of time. It did not imply, nor did it necessitate, a change in the physiological makeup of man. Remember, man was in a human body, biological body, mortal body, created from dust outside the garden, in fellowship with God. So if God could restore fellowship, and if God's intent was to restore fellowship, to restore man to his presence, to reunite heaven and earth, man could remain on earth, time could march on, man could still be in a biological mortal body, and heaven and earth could be reunited as Paul says it was God's eternal purpose to do. Now, I got kind of carried away with this reuniting of heaven and earth, but it's so critical. There are those who tell us that it is God's eternal intent to destroy heaven and earth in order to restore man to his presence. No, it's not necessary. There are those who tell us that God took all the chosen seed off of the earth in AD 70, and since that time there's no salvation for anyone. Well, it's a ridiculous idea. God's intent was not to remove man from the earth, but to restore fellowship between heaven and earth with man on earth with time marching on. Remember Revelation 21? I saw the tabernacle of God. I saw the new heaven and new earth coming down out of heaven from God. And the voice declaring, the tabernacle of God, i.e. the presence of God, the most holy place. The tabernacle of God is with man. Those who are saying that all salvation ended in AD 70, those who are saying that the presence of God with man on earth in time ended in AD 70, are in an overt, emphatic denial of the specific wording of Revelation. God was going to come back and dwell with man, restoring heaven and earth. He wasn't going to take man off of the earth so that there'd be no more presence of God with man on earth. It was God's eternal purpose, remember, to reunite heaven and earth and to say the tabernacle of God is with man. Now, that has implications not only for us now, dwelling in the presence of God. It likewise has implications for when we die. I didn't get to the verse I promised you that I would, but I will do that on the flip side. We'll see you then. In the meantime, you have a fantastic weekend.